Alright, everybody, welcome back to Final Fantasy V. We saved right outside of town here. Sorry, I just need to get caught back up a little bit here because it's been several days, so I feel like I've forgotten where exactly. I think we're supposed to just follow along the landmass again. Oh yeah, I didn't really have much to buy here because while Phoenix Downs would be nice, they are not cheap. And a lot of those pieces of equipment there are all in use. So, I gotta appreciate having my gear a little bit better arranged there. Does anybody need... I think we're fine with our current position here. Eventually we will start selling off gear once I'm sure that it's outmoded. Wow, this person is going back and forth real fast. Yeah, the purple flowers on North Mountain, yet. Ah, right, I think we gotta go to the... We're gonna have to go to the mountain and... Oh. Yeah, Galoof, don't be so insensitive, but, Oko? Wait, no. Surely not. So we gotta go talk to the person who talks about the flying dragon guy, right? Or do you just not actually tell me specifically and I just have to figure that one out on my own? I will talk to everybody else in town just to be sure. I guess we could also just, like, start rowing. Look at that armor. That's not necessarily the most specific, but hey. If Lena's able to identify it just by that, I mean, hey. We're gonna have to go get that, huh? Yep. Gotta go to North Mountain. That's right. This specific town doesn't ring a bell, but that does. And we just gotta be careful of some poisonous flowers on the mountain. As it's sort of already been referred to here. Get into a couple of battles as we go. Now, the load times aren't really severe, but it is very strange when you hit a point where you just get that tiny little stop of not being able to move. That feels almost like, just because it's so out of, like, particular positions or grids or anything, that almost makes it feel like something is about to go horribly wrong. But it's honestly not that bad. This guy's named Tattoo. I think that's a little bit off. But hey, if it's going to take him that long to actually land any hits on me, hey, we'll take that. Oh, there's our world map. Can we zoom in on any of that? Or is it literally just a... It's literally just going to be a single thing like that. So we can definitely tell that we got to go around the other way, right? Gotta go through this big forest. Sorry about the yawn. I apologize. My sleep schedule is absolutely train wrecked. Did like nothing to it. Yo, this one is way stronger than the previous one. Is it because there's still other enemies in front of it? Do they get a sort of a row system in addition to us? Because I know we've got that going, right? Unless that wasn't in this game and was only in the other two SNES games. It would be very strange. But no, I definitely seen that before, right? Ah, forget it. Let's just keep going. Yeah, here we go. As you can see, the North Mountain is a little bit disconnected from everywhere else. Now, just in case... Okay, I do have a bunch of tents that I can use, so... We'll tent up. Right on the doorstop of this dungeon area, right? Great place for it. And also take a quick save, just to be absolutely sure. Yeah, see, at least we can run around in the regular maps, but we can't exactly dash in the overworld, huh? I see, yes, there's two stones and two rock cutters here. Which one's which? We'll find out, won't we? Well, those guys don't have enough mana to do... I didn't quite see what that was. Oh god, is this the enemy that you have to feed an ether so that way... Yes, because they're trying to cast Flash. Okay. So, Galoof, do you have any ethers? We don't have any... We don't have any ethers. Well, damn, basically. Maybe we'll be able to come back here a little later after we beat this. Then again, I don't even know if Flash is very useful, so... Yes, here's our Galacats. Here's spelled as Gila Cat. Not even quite like Gila Monster. But hold on, yeah, there's more of this cave to explore. I was like, wait a second. I didn't check out this whole layout here. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like horse's ass a little bit, but that's just because my sleep schedule is gone all the way to a place where it doesn't feel like it. So I took a big nap before stream, and yeah. I mean, that's not an impossibility, so possibly someday I could try that. It'll get there on its own. It's every once in a while I just have like a really wrecked sleep period. It's alright. Plus, at the end of the month, there's the, like, couple of month event that I play in a mobile game that is competitive, air quotes. But since it's on a Japanese timer, that usually means that I have to be up at, like, the wee hours of the morning. So at least I'll be wide awake for stream periods at that point, but hey. We'll worry about that when the time comes or something. Oh yeah, Butts is getting beat up pretty bad. Yeah, there's definitely... I did not even realize that there's a thing where it actually kind of matters what sort of position the enemies are in on the field. That is interesting to know. I mean, yeah, on some level, but more specifically, it's more like basically just that the row system applies to enemies. Granted, I do have to say that it's been a while, just full stop, since I have played a 2D Final Fantasy. So, obviously I remember that applying to characters, but that's not a thing that I recall being a thing for enemies, so... I want to check abilities here. No, we didn't gain anything from that, so that... I wanted, like, a full status here. Because I thought it said we learned something, but it might have just been, like, a passive boost to our white magic, which is fine. It just throws me off a little bit, I guess, because... I would expect that from the job levels, period. Ah, I see. Our row assignments don't carry over between battles. Huh. Alright, then. Guys, can you miss this thing? As you say, it might be in a specific, like, dodging or effect, but odd. Yeah, I have to assume that that's a thing that takes some learning, basically. Let's see if these things have anything to steal. Tonic is not necessarily bad. We can use more of those. Okay, we have to assign a move. I just want to try to steal from this thing again. And we failed. Well, just end this battle. There we go. Wow, that's quite a lot. Dang it. Nice steal right there, butts. I assume that that's something that just gets better as you level the job or something. Oh, Galoof gained a level there, so that's neat. Nah, I just left him with butts because it's the classic, and I guess I just wanted to hammer home the fact that, yes, originally it was. That wasn't some sort of, like, strange mistranslation. That was the Japanese name. Bart's was a correction later on when they sort of realized, hey, that's getting laughed at in America. So they end up like overcorrecting it a little bit, in a way. Good old Square Enix. Their tendency to overcorrect. Hey, of course, the Cockator here has a soft. As you expect them to have, but hey, good to pick up some more of those early. And any sort of consumables that we don't have to spend as much money on, that we can save towards equipment, because early on, equipment and, of course, the more important items out of any of the consumables, right? Anyway, we got a save point here, so let's tent up, take advantage of this. Because, yeah, there's a couple of things that we would like to have more of that are a little bit expensive, like Phoenix Downs, which are rather pricey. Oh, or a stray helmet. That could be quite useful. Lotta's been poisoned. It's okay, it'll happen several more times throughout the game, don't worry. Who's this? Who's this rude person? Magissa. Whoa! Dragons? What, are you dropping the Solid Snake voice there, buddy? That sounds, where do all these chunks of mountain keep going? Fought. Wow. Oh, she's pretty good. Pardon me. Yeah, Ferris is pretty fucking good at that, huh? And just hucks out a rope that... I didn't know we had a rope, but hey. Oh, they said kill. Are we sure this was originally the Ted Woolsey script? They wouldn't be allowed to say that in a Nintendo game for babies. I see. Michi says nothing to steal. Okay, yeah, you have Ant Dot. And fittingly, Lotta does actually start the fight poisoned. I haven't played that on stream yet, no. Oh, and she summoned this guy, Falzer, whose name in the translation is Forza, right? I was like, what is he called? I was trying to piece it together, because, yeah. Looks like he's got some kind of fungus growing off of him a little bit. I think maybe that's just the color choices and the weird blue baubles. Ouch! It's pretty painful. Discount Captain I guess a little bit. Do you have anything, Forza? No. Forza has nothing to steal, so that's probably going to make my life a bit easier here. Thankfully, a very short boss fight. Not much to worry about there. And we get ourselves a power drink and a whip. Yeah, Ferris, you saved us all again. He's pretty good at that. You're pretty good, etc. Something I would never hear in my playthroughs of the old MGS, because I'm not great at it. But we can't use the whip yet, so that's just going to have to sit in our back pocket until I unlock whatever class can use the whip. Or I guess just switch back to freelancers for somebody. But I don't really need to do that much. The whip does have a pretty useful property of being able to paralyze enemies. Lena just stepped around the poison flowers. I mean, I guess if you can't jump... Well, there she goes again, getting poisoned a second time in the next 10 minutes. Galoof, you can just cast the antidote spell on her and it'll be fine. Or for some reason the dragon purges her poison. Oh, Butts is afraid of heights. Everybody's here to laugh at him. Galoof just here like, I came here to laugh at you. Wait. Off we go. Oh, we get full control of this. Unfortunately, the dragon can't go over mountains, which... I mean, they can only give us so much, to be fair. As we have to go find Kingdom of Walls here. Not going to be here, but just take a quick peek. Oh, yeah, this is it. This is our Tower of Walls here. Tower of Waltz. Tower of Tim Walls. Unfortunately, we don't regard that campaign as such any... Well, anyway. Enough politics shit. Let's save that for a second. I don't know how far I can explore off the top of my head, but... Yeah, Waltz is now the more modern translation. Walz, W-A-L-Z was the... Again, remember, we're on the PS1 translation because of some reason. But let's take a bit of a poke around here. I mean... Under some circumstances. Yeah, we got an area over here we can check out. Can we go anywhere else across the sea? Oh yeah, it's just walls. Walls Castle. Yeah, you would like your castle to have some walls, wouldn't you? Let's take a look at our gear options here. We can pick up a couple of long swords. No use of battle axes for anybody right now, but I don't know if that's like an actual problem. I don't... What am I doing? Everybody already has long swords, don't these two. Well, that was a little silly. It'd be the first time I did anything silly, but I'm keeping this many broadswords, so I guess upgrading that number to that many long swords in case I end up in a position where I've got 4 sword people in the party. We do, however, have access to iron stuff. I'm pretty sure our knight style, you know, our more knightly fellas here are in bronze right now, so that will surely be an upgrade. I was gonna say, how off is it? Because there's probably some sound glitches between the PS1 version and the SNES version. Just because that can be kind of funky sometimes in general. I think 2 of these will do. Oh, you can wear the bronze plate, huh? Interesting. Excuse me. Yeah, sound emulation for SNES. Sound emulation of things for the Super Nintendo is a little bit weird sometimes. So that probably has a bit of an effect. $20 gil for a stay at the inn. That's fine by me. Look at me fumble something very easy like that. Well, let's go and poke around and get into some fights real quick. Yeah, they're remaking Ocarina of Time. Star Fox 64 remake is a thing that was already acknowledged before. Yeah. Wow, easy. A remake like that seems like it'd be easy money, you know, because you've already got basically everything designed already. It's just, oh, hey, just jack up the graphics quality and, you know, maybe a little different of an art style, and it's a game that everybody's like, oh, it's the greatest game ever. And I mean, I don't agree with that, basically, but yeah, I mean, maybe fix a few things here and there, but ultimately, it's very easy, basically, to rag on Nintendo for recycling all their old content and just sort of not necessarily having more ideas. And it's kind of correct in some ways, but hey. If they fix the camera, will it even be the same game? No. If it's that much harder for me to fall off of the climb up to the Megaton Hammer in the Fire Temple, what's even the point? Well, I mean, it would be harder to fall off. At least in theory. God damn it, Bartz. Can you actually steal anything? Just, come on. Yeah, I know that room in the Fire Temple, that room really sucks. Just, I think that might actually be one of the worst rooms in the entirety of the Fire Temple. Or in the entirety of OOT, rather. The Water Temple is nothing. That's just sort of take notes. Which I think is the thing you're kind of expected to do anyway, really, but hey. Oh, yeah, there's more fucking DLC for Abiotic Factor. Did any of the other DLC for Abiotic Factor even, like, add actual content, or wasn't it just places where you could build? It's no DK64. Yeah. DK64, which is now on Virtual Console, so everybody else can experience the suffering, too. And here's it. This guy again. This big-ass, big guy. I swear this is supposed to be a boss. Elsewhere. Maybe I'm dumb. It wouldn't be the first time I was dumb. Maybe it's just an enemy that looks basically the same. Wow, a palette-swapped enemy in a Final Fantasy game? Hooray, we stole a Maiden's Kiss. Well, that'll be useful if we get turned into a frog. That's a thing that crops up decently often in this game. Halicarnassus does it later on. Much later on. But hey, we'll take our free consumables. Just in case it should crop up. But yeah, the Nintendo Direct was today. There were a lot of games shows to be considered distinct from game shows, which is, yes, I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of game shows out there too, but there were a lot of reveals of upcoming video games and, you know, glorified advertisement reels that were going around between all the major companies. And quite frankly, I do not remember a goddamn thing from basically any of them. Like, oh boy, Deltarune Chapter 5. I don't really care that much personally, but I know a lot of people who do. So, like, neat. Oh yeah, the HD 2D, which I'm pretty sure is basically just Brave Exvius, which was a mobile game, which, hey, good that they're doing an offline version of it, right? Because to hell with games that just sort of get killed off. Anywho, Tales of Eternia, I forgot was even in the running register there. God, I'm trying to remember if there was anything big that I really cared too much about from the Nintendo show. I'd have to go through other people's coverage, I guess, and be like, yeah, here's... It's not going to make me buy a Switch 2, but... I guess there's a new Fire Emblem game... But I'm kind of like big shrug on that because Fire Emblem is a hit and miss franchise. I think this one is following on from Three Houses on some level, or at least same world. So not to say that it's like school drama in the same way that Three Houses was, but yeah. It's a 2D, 3D Sacred... I'm kind of hoping that eventually they will get off their asses and look over at the GBA Fire Emblem games in general. Yes, even that one. That one in this case being FE6, aka Binding Blade. And go, hey, we should remake those. Those were actually good. Listen, Nintendo loves remakes because they're easy money, and because all their fans are fucking marks. I'd say I hate to say it, but, like, I don't care. Y'all are all fucking 12-year-olds. Okay, that part is a bit overdoing it, but... in short... a lot of Nintendo fans are basically just huge marks for any sort of Nintendo anything, so they will be told about remakes and they will just be like, oh, I gotta buy all those up. Yum yum, I love slop. Granted, I can't say shit. I was entertaining purchasing the... Thank you for the resub. I'll say more in a second. I can't say shit about Yum Yum, I Love Slop and regurgitated leftovers because I was entertaining picking up a copy of the Pixel Remaster Collection for Switch. So, like, you know, there's me rebuying the same 6 Final Fantasy games again. Absolutely incredible. Incroyable. Anyway, yes, thank you, Epionics Tab, for 82 months. Is one of the weirder even numbers. And at the end, you just screw Sakurai over and over again. I mean, I was gonna say something here as a joke about that, of like tying it into Fire Emblem and be like, you know, who, if the Smash games are gonna keep adding so many Fire Emblem characters, you know who they need in there? They need fucking Hector. But, anywho. Why does it sound like Super Mario RPG? Because they're both on the SNES. Anyway, we're trying to convince the king to not overtax the water crystal because, you know, we're running out of natural resources and stuff. Oh, incoming meteors. But kill the dinosaurs. Oh no, sorry. Never mind. Oh right, yeah, the new Fire Emblem game is gonna be $80 for a cartridge anyway, so even if I had a Switch 2, and even if I was like interested in picking it up, I would probably choose not to, just out of like protest. Nobody knows the meteors and the shattering crystals are connected yet. Actually, hold up. Anything else in here? Yes. Here, can I ransack your room, King? Skeleton King? He's not Skeleton King. I mean, once you peel him, he's a Skeleton King, but... he's just normal until then. Full lowlifes. Ooh, it's pretty dark in here. I probably should have saved before I started digging around in here. Just taking a guess. Oh, Jesus. Yes, I should have. Galoof, get out of there, you slow, doddering old fossil! Never mind, he's dead. Oh, I was trying to run, but... okay, I wasn't sure yet, because... it's just like, hey, here's a location that you can go to. So how far back are we? The last place that I remember us saving was against Magissa. Magissa. Yeah, that's definitely, that name was picked from a hat. Okay, right, I saved outside the Tower of Walls, so... I'm just gonna leave the dragon there for now, and go for a walk. Let's go get ourselves some more EXP. Actually, I don't really know that I need to try to steal from Gorilla if Gorilla is just going to give me maiden kisses. Because those are useful later, but right now are just kind of, like, there. I don't know if anything can turn us into a toad for a while. Oh yeah, I guess there was a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer at the Nintendo Direct. I don't fucking care, dude. I'm not that huge into Kingdom Hearts in the first place, and also it's one of those things where it's like, man, who fucking cares until it actually comes out? Until such time, I have no reason to believe that it exists. Because, you know, stares pointedly at Kingdom Hearts 3. Looks at Tetsuya Nomura. Don't you have other things to... I don't know where I'm going with that, but... I'm not really the target there anyway, but also I don't consider it to be real until it actually comes out. Sorry, I'm just trying to think now if there was anything major that I saw in any of the other various gaming presentations. That Magicians game that was in the, I think it was Xbox showcase. I wouldn't say it looks like a great game, but by the standards of modern games, which do not usually impress me, I mean, I like that it had a sense of style. Round the wheel, how's it going? Things are going all right. We died because we went into an area that we were there way too early for, and Butts has an abysmal steal rate, but aside from that... New Xenoblade game? I don't fucking care about Xenoblade. I'm sorry, I do not care about Xenoblade. Every time I look at that, I have this sort of, like, thing in my brain where it's like, yo, this guy made Xenogears and Xenosaga, and then he went to this? And, I mean, I guess Xenosaga probably had a little bit of the affliction that Xenoblade does in some regards. That it's just like, oh, who fucking cares? Just, like, I cannot with the way that it just generally looks like, and it's just like, your sense of style, what happened? Why don't you have any anymore? So, yeah, not exactly a concern of mine. Anywho, we've got a bunch of magic. We've even got some summons here we can pick up. Even though we haven't got a summoner yet. Maybe we'll be getting that very soon. Once we get the jobs from the water crystal. Spoiler alert. Yeah, water crystal's about to go down the hole. There was one thing that kind of interested me a little bit as just sort of a thing that isn't too major, and it was only shown in the Japanese Direct. That being that they're re-releasing the first Toho game on the Switch and other consoles. I think it's really only current generation consoles, and I have to admit all my hardware is outdated. PS4 and Switch 1 are not current generation anymore, unfortunately. And I'm not about to go and pick up the more modern consoles at this particular moment. So, yeah, especially not with the prices going up. Thanks a fucking lot. Technology in general, really. Thanks for ruining everything, tech companies. I am so glad. When did I get that mithril helmet? I did not notice that. Well, that's a little bit nicer than just an iron helmet, I guess. So I wasted a little bit of money. What else is new? I'm not really interested very much in modern video games, full stop, at the moment, I suppose. And of course, it just always keeps getting worse with any of them, because it's like, oh yeah, as soon as you hear about a good one, one that you like right now, you suddenly find out, oh hey, by the way, the company goes, yeah, we used AI for it. And it's just like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't actually give a shit about that new Crazy Taxi game. Be honest with you, I didn't really fucking care about a new Crazy Taxi game in the first place, because we've already got the original Crazy Taxi. And the main reason why you would want a new Crazy Taxi is because you're one of those people who's like, well, I don't like it when things end. I gotta have all the remakes, I gotta have all the sequels, continuations, even when there's no real reason for it. And then it gets to be even worse where it just turns out, like, right afterwards, they all just start pulling all the assets from it, or saying, oh yeah, well, they were just test assets, which, I mean, on paper, it's like, that sounds like it's better than just leaving them in the game, but that means that you made them in the first place, and now, ultimately, you've made them for even less of a point. Your placeholder assets don't need to look good, and in fact, very few people are going to see them in general. And even if they do, they'll find the shitty-looking things a lot more charming than whatever you dump out with, whatever any of those are called, like, Midjourney was one of the ones that did or does create images. I don't know if that's still a going concern, because fuck AI, and if you use it, you should be immersed in a vat of frothing, seething fire ants. Toes first. Like, we don't have any illusions at this point about the environmental cost of the use of generative AI assets, right? About the cost of creating them. for people who don't know, there's also the part where a lot of these companies intentionally build in neighborhoods of more, is the phrase disadvantaged communities considered to be non-PC? Is that considered to be unacceptable? Because a big thing here is that, like, a lot of them here in the States were built explicitly in black neighborhoods. And far be it from me to necessarily say with a absolute certainty that these companies are doing it in order to, you know, specifically harm people of certain races or other, you know, political minority communities, but also, like, yeah, so, yes, the point is that there's some problems all around. Yeah, there is also, I think, this problem with the use of the term AI to describe a plurality of concepts. And now, I'm not necessarily going to say that a machine is always going to be good at some of the other things that people have been like, oh yeah, they're using AI for such and such a thing to help them locate cancer cells, for example. I'm not here to weigh in on that. I am here to say, however, that calling that AI in an era where the term AI is referring to the slop machine that kills the truth is like, okay, one of you is going to have to change costume a little bit. Right, and then with regard to using an AI generative model trained on your own data, I would still say that there is kind of the matter of, like, be wary of the fact that that's massively wasteful of energy still. Because it's not like the machine is suddenly going to look at who the data belongs to and be like, oh yeah, let's make this cost less electricity, because it can't do that, because that's not how any of that works. But again, that's a whole thing of, like, all of this. Listen, things are bad right now in general in a lot of ways. Right, yeah, and again, it's just like, hey, yeah, just don't call anything else that at this point. Unfortunately, until such time as we're able to shut down the existence of generative AI, all the other technologies are going to have to come up with something a little different to refer to themselves as. Because unfortunately, that frog is boiled, that bridge is burnt. Other terribly muddled metaphors. And of course, let's not forget that a big part of why that generative mechanism, the generative mechanisms are so popular, big air quotes there, lately, is because corporations are trying to use them as a way to spend less money on making things and in order to pump out more resources, because they just think, hey, yeah, make this massive release schedule that is not sustainable for anybody to keep up with. That's surely the route to the infinite money, right? And so they're doing it in order to avoid having to pay anybody to make stuff for that, which cheapens art in general. But yeah, whole big long thing. So I can't wait to find out that, you know, if I do actually get interested enough in one modern game, one parentheses, the digit 1, and I decide to go all in on upgrading my PC so that way it doesn't, like, melt as soon as I play it, even on the low settings. Because for some reason, companies haven't figured out, hey, yeah, this shit is too expensive and haven't just, like, decided to reel it back a little bit in terms of requirements for anything. So, you know, I can't wait for that, and then I get informed immediately afterward that one of these companies was using generated assets. I'd be very, very disappointed about that. Well, see, the thing that I didn't actually get around to mentioning here is that, yeah, they're trying to save money by using generative assets, at least on paper, that's what it sounds like. But it's turning out for a lot of companies to be more expensive to use generative, to use the regurgitator than it is to just pay employees to do stuff. Because of the fact that the prices have been so jacked up in terms of usage of computing power, thanks to this entire AI industry, that it sort of eats itself in a weird way. I mean, not as fully as I would like, but hey. The easier way to save money when it comes to the cost of producing games would really just be to not make them so massive and just need less resources overall. I say regularly that games haven't needed to look better than a PS2 game, and I stand by that statement. There is a minimum of need. And in fact, the actual amount of use cases that I can think of for it are almost zero for games to look like hyper-realistic. Especially not in the genres that I play, where it's like, okay, hyper-realism in a fantasy game just means that you didn't actually have any ideas for art direction. And again, perhaps if you had human coders, you wouldn't need to regenerate code over and over because of all the bugs that it makes, because it's, you know, it's still kind of just in the phase of, like, these companies think that this stuff is a lot more capable than it actually is. These chucklefucks have really hyped themselves up into believing the idea of, like, oh, this could become sentient one day. It's a fucking Markov chain! We've had Markov chains for, like, ever. Yeah, okay. Andrei Markov published his first paper on the concept of the Markov chain in 1906. We've had this idea for 120 years. It's not suddenly more sentient just because you're doing it with a machine that wastes power. We didn't need to spend more money to engineer a fart-huffing mask because that already was a thing that was given away as a promotional object for one of the South Park RPGs. I think Stick of Truth might have been the other one, but I digress. That is a thing that I saw on the internet at one point, was somebody who does one of those tech channels who did a teardown of it, and yeah, it's a device that emits a fart smell. That's South Park for you. Anywho, we're saving now that we finished that dialogue. I believe now we've got to go and head over to the Tower of Waltz. The Tower of Walls. Again, you probably would like to have some walls for your tower, right? Yeah, no, I'm... this month, instead of randos, I'm just finishing off some post-games for some games that I have still hadn't finished off that I was going to. Just because they've been bugging me for however long. So in my case, I am doing just I'm just finishing off the post-game for Dark Cloud, because I played that game years ago. Very possibly, yes. Depending very heavily on how fast I get through Dark Cloud in particular, because that was taking me an amount of time. Because the post-game dungeon is very long, which is real good because the game is not necessarily fast. Oh, that's the thing. I did not realize that offhand. Ah, yes, here's the meteor site. Can we get anything here? I doubt it, but let's check anyway. Ah, yes, Garula. Is that the same Garula we've been beating up on the world map? Because if so, this is going to be an easy fight. Ah, yes, we've got the Ricard Mage. The Richard Mages. They cast Stop, though. That is kind of nerve-wracking. I hope that wears off over time, which would be helpful. Their steel just appears to be a wooden rod. These guys, I believe, drop fire rods, which are very useful items. But we'll be able to buy them later, if not. Even if they do. Yeah, we're in here for a moment. Yeah, the fire rod. Yes! Excellent. We love that. Garula's up here and is making ridiculous noises, I hear. It's Maiden's Kiss. Do I get the other? I'm probably going to have to drop down on it or something. Judging by the hole in the floor. Oh, that's fun. Alright, note to self to tell Galoof to unpoison himself real quick. I guess I'll do that on the world map here. Hey, it looks like we got steel. Alright, go in here. Oh yeah, there's Ant Dot. It's just that it's only 2 columns in battle and 3 on the world map, which threw me off for a second. Alright, let's tent and save. Something along one of those lines, at least. Ah, yes, here we go. The wyvern's named Wyburn because very, very fun translation. And by fun translation, I mean Ted. God damn it, you were doing so good. And then you give me Wyburn. It's okay, at least we managed to steal 2 mithril knives from them, and to be fair, we do get even better later in the game with the name that they gave Tonberries in this version. It's a pretty famous little mistranslation where it's not even so much a mistranslation as they just changed it, because instead of calling them Tonberry in this game, for some reason they called them Dingleberry. And listen, they're pretty shitty enemies, I agree with you, but I can't dual wield. Not with the thief. At least not yet, or something. It was definitely a strange choice. I'm not sure how they arrived at that, other than just being like, well, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and also just looking over at this game being the goofy one of the series. And deciding, yeah, we need to really dial this up even further. I see that. Looks like in theory I could climb up it, but... Rather worried about this treasure chest, that's all. Ah, yes, the elf toads. At least they got nothing to steal, so that'll make our lives easier here. Easier here. Alright. Back to it. And I guess I'll just have to be in a position of not completely understanding how to get to that treasure chest. Get that other item. Well, all of this is really kind of suggesting to me that there is a way to get there by climbing the roots But how do I get into the water to be able to actually do that? Smart defense. Yeah, I'll take those, and we'll give the leather shoes over to Ferris. Bueller, etc. I'm gonna go try and do this again, because... See if I can manage to not be stupid about this for a second. You know, I guess I could get another mithril dagger from that guy, but probably too late for that, I guess. Oops. Well, whatever. Just waste a hit on the paddle through, I guess, and go for... Yeah, we didn't even get it. Dang. Not that I require another one right now, but hey. Oh, there we go. There's the stairway into the water. I couldn't tell if that's what it was. But that gets us a silk robe. And I think Galoof could probably use an upgrade. Yep. There you go, buddy. Alright, well, here we go. Here's another group of wyverns. Let's get some daggers that we can sell for cash. Hopefully. Ah, dang. Yeah, see, those aren't, those things. What's going on? Yep. Yeah, what did you think was going to happen, buddy? He's a little bit more pissed off now, and he's got a different steel this time. So this might not necessarily be as free of a fight, it's just that we had lower powered gorillas walking around the walking around the world map. Huh. Interesting. Strange place. Strange sight. Oh, Lena's been hit by a sapping effect. Oh, he's getting madder as we go. Where is our fire? Oh, I might have to be able to equip that in order to use it. And Galoof is dead, but at least he soaked 2 hits at once, I guess. Right, get up, dude. Thankfully, Lena is repeatedly taking no damage, so that's great. Let's heal Bart's butts. And there goes Galoof again. God. It's been a couple of minutes since I've saved, so I'm just going to have to hope that I'm real close to killing this thing. Yeah, we were pretty close anyway. Not amazing results, but hey. And yeah, that crystal is going to explode. Well, unfortunately, yeah, this guy seems to know a little bit about Galoof. But more importantly, we're going to have to go deal with the fire crystal. After we pick up these crystal shards. And acquire some new jobs. We got Time Mage. That exists. We got Sorcerer. Summoner. Oh, there's one that we have to take a bit of a route to get to, I guess? Or can we not pick it up? There's Red Mage. That's fun. And Berserker. Berserker is kind of an infamous class for not being good. Uh-oh, do we gotta do a Metroid escape sequence? Nope, we can just go out the top, I guess. As that whole peninsula basically crumbles off and falls off. Oh hey, Sildra's here to rescue us. That's quite helpful. I mean, Sildra's already failed to die once, so maybe, Just seemed like he was retreating backwards, I don't know. But... that's sad. Now we really can't use the ship. And plus, the water crystal blew up because it got hit by a big meteor or something. Or, well, there was a meteor that crashed nearby anyway. At least our dragon is still kind of safe. I was gonna say, I can't wait to get ambushed on the way back to town. Come in and heal. After we got the crap kicked out of us. Because, oh yeah. That Garula really threw me off. We probably should check out some of the new classes at some point. We got the ability to run with a thief, and we have the ability to steal, so it's probably worth it to check out a couple more here. We've got the Sorcerer, who casts M Barrier. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Shell. The Berserker. Yeah, always Berserk in battle, as you can see, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. Time Mage. Oh yeah, you can equip rods. As can the Summoner. Meanwhile, we've got the Red Mage, who does Red Mage things. As the sword ability? Hmm? Oh yeah, plus we can wield a bronze shield. That's neat. And then jobs. We're going to have Ferris become a red mage. Instead, check out that hat. That's pretty cool. Can't equip a... Can't equip offhand here, no. Meanwhile, anybody else going to... Okay, I see. So this is the class that I guess eventually becomes the Spellblade. But for now, this, I think, will do. And yeah, I don't think we need any more equipment, unless this guy can wield an iron shield, in which case... I don't think he can wield an iron shield. Oh, yeah, never mind. Let's buy an iron shield, and... go ahead and equip Bartz with it. Bartz. Don't have a cow, man. And hey, look, there's just another one of these gorillas just walking around outside of town. Huh. Well, go talk to the king, I guess. Crawled out of the meteor and was talking about a warp. Interesting. You guys don't know what's in the dungeons downstairs? Yes, I was worried that was a timed message because apparently I took 2 inputs from me. We're to Karnak. They also use a machine to amplify their crystal's power. Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that. Oh yeah, and Karnak is the fire crystal too, so... that means I know what's coming up. The timed section, but also the boss that's coming up that is not related to that exactly. Ah, yes, this is the place where we started the game. But to be fair, I don't have the greatest sense of direction here, but hey, let's see if we can fight a couple of these guys. Yeah, a crab named Diablo. We got El Diablo here is a crab. Does a steel bat have anything for us to steal? That kind of steel. Nope. Well, it probably does have something we can steal, but we're not going to stick around to find out. There was definitely no reason to do that, but why not, right? May as well. It's literally right there, after all. Anything from this guy? Looks really nasty now that I think about it. I mean, kind of knew that already, but still. Right, I'm sure that that was just a case of, well, again, fairly simple names between any of those. Yeah, there's... Check the other area. I don't think that leads anywhere useful, but... Double check anyway. Oh yeah, this is literally just over here. I forgot that part. Aw, the pirate's taking care of my chocobo. That's cool. Plus, they gave us some items. Oh, they even put it in a bed. That's great. That's incredible. Just a regular person bed. And this wizard has a pirate accent, too. I love that. That's fun. was fairly intelligible. Oh, I can't get in here, can I? Dang. Unless it involves hitting this switch. Oh, I didn't see any other walls of that type around to... Yep. We get ether. That would have been helpful earlier. We get a tent, and we get 300 gold. Very nice. All that stuff is pretty useful. Glad I came back here. I mean, 300 gil isn't a huge amount, but it's nice to get a little bit, and at this early stage, the numbers are kind of low in general, so... You know, perhaps it'll improve with time, right? Think they know what bases are? Nope. They don't know very much, probably. There's really no reason for me to use this again. I'm pretty sure I haven't taken any damage, but we'll do it anyway just because. Can we steal anything from this crab? Nope. Darn. Well, at least this guy can fly over the meteor. That's good. What's in this? Oh, it's just Tycoon Castle. Makes sense. You guys got anything going on here? Other than, hey, yeah, you should probably be getting to Karnak. Which is absolutely true, but... Let me skip through the dialogue a little bit. It was sticking there for a moment. Getting a little bit weird. Oh well. Hey, boss. What's the deal? Check ellipses. Yeah, but he seems to have just hurt himself in a goofy way. Well, hey, at least that was nice and easy. And we get some plot. And here's where we learn, at least I think this is where we learn of Ferris's relation to Lena. Yeah, they're siblings. Gar. Yeah, something like that definitely seems a little bit, Meanwhile, I was gonna say his butt's having a plot moment also. It's an interesting sequence of animations that happened there. Yeah, probably, but... nice, we got some more potion. I think that's supposed to be the equivalent of a high potion in this game. Yeah, you go down here, it just says restores HP. That's not a very helpful description, but hey. Actually, hold up. What's the deal with the power drink? You can't use that right now. Drink in battle raises attack. Okay, so... I gotcha. Well, why did you then proceed to block my path, sir? What about the other side of the castle? Anything? Salsa. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem name, not just because it's silly, but because the original transliteration is supposed to be Sarissa. And the idea is that Ferris, as a alias, came from mispronouncing the name as Farifa as a child. So that idea is a little bit orphaned as a result of this mistranslation as salsa. But it is very funny. So, you know, points where that's due, right? Let's say this was Storehouse. Well, I'm going to save before I dig into that, because I see it's a dark area inside of a castle, and my brain immediately is like, yes, I remember what happened in the Castle of Walls, and that did not go super well. Where's the king? We'll find out in a minute or two. Save first. Oops. Yeah, see, after several games now, I'm stuck in this weird brain position of the right side face button is the select one. At least sometimes that's where my brain goes. Not always. Move. The random walking NPCs can be a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. Oh, he walked right through us. Wow. Got the monster bell. We got a shuriken. And we got a katana. And apparently we also received a cane. Which means that Galoof would probably have something that... Oh, it's the heal staff. Yeah. Yes, that is very helpful. It's just that for now, we're not really going to be using that too much. It's a thing to equip as we need it. Unfortunately, nobody here can equip the katana right now, because I assumed that they count as, like, a different item type, basically. Different weapon type. Yeah, you can see the icon's a little different. Oh, that's a little bit weird. Oh, I get it. This guy running back and forth. Oh, he's the lookout. That makes sense. Alright, did we get... Did we talk to everyone? RetroArch over BizHawk. Honestly, I try to avoid both of them. And usually just use emulators that are separated from any of those. I've probably ended up using BizHawk more often, but that's because of needing BizHawk for certain purposes. Like, I remember needing to use it for an archipelago one time, so... That said, Parallel, which is the N64 emulator that I was using, started off as a RetroArch core, so... It's better in that regard, at least. On the other hand, I use Parallel as a... I use an independent launcher for it now, so... That... I guess I'm not tied down to any of those, but I think technically it's running RetroArch with just only that core, basically. In any case, I think that's all the stuff that we can get at Castle Salsa right now, or Castle Tycoon, rather. Sorry. Sonic Battle doesn't function that well on VBA. It would probably be more functional on MGBA, which I think is a core that's available for RetroArch, but I don't know for sure. Also, yeah, I guess this would be Chapter 3, so we're on our third vehicle now. I mean, we have had this for a bit, it's just, huh. A lot of different vehicles we can go through. Are the monsters in the Wind Shrine still here? Can we grind Moldwinds if we want to? Moldwin or whatever they were called. Well, let's see if the monsters are different. Well, we got a white snake, which is one we saw before here. Yeah, it seems like the enemies are just the exact same, yeah. So, technically, we could come here and we could try to farm for more elixirs again at some point, but obviously I'm not going to just spend the whole stream doing that. That'd be silly. Let's get out of here and let's go and find our way toward Karnak. I've been using Same Boy for emulating Game Boy stuff this whole time, so I can say that that's pretty good. How do we get to... It's Karnak. How do we get out of this loop of mountains? Yeah, helpful for yourself. How's it going, buddy? Hope you're having a good evening there, Brian. With your usual... No, this is Tool. This is the wrong one. That's just the lock. 2 more days till holidays. Nice. There's 6 days of work, though. Sheesh. That's a lot back-to-back. We as a species ain't necessarily made for that shit, so... yeah. It's hard to reach past in you. Yeah, no kidding. I'm with you there. Shit's rough. I say this from the position of just like being over here just streaming. You know, I'm gonna go and ask in the castle again. Maybe they'll be like, hey, moron, it's this direction. And they'd be quite justified to say that to me, but hey. Resting in the barracks. You tell me which direction that is, they might be able to tell me where's I gotta go. Unless I'm supposed to go through the underground tunnel, which... am I already strong enough for that? That'd be a huge... it doesn't feel like we gained a ton of levels, so... it's got to reduce contrast, yeah. But there is some more of the castle that we can explore, it looks like. I'm gonna get pushed down the waterfall. Oh. Good thing I just saved, just in case the monsters here are disgusting. These guys look familiar. We just fought them in the water shrine, so this is probably the right place to go. And I was just being a big old dumbass for like 20 minutes there. Well, whatever. We were able to reconfirm I can go back to the Wind Shrine. It's a funky looking flickering object. Ah, here's Shiva. All right. And I see we've got these Ice Commander fellas here, and that is fairly strong. Alright, let's... I think we have to just swing with this, or maybe we have to use it from the inventory, but... I forget how this works with using the rods. Again, I haven't played this in a while. Ooh. Well, we can't be having that happening if we want to be able to throw out our rod here. We want to throw a rod. Again, it's a good thing we saved recently, because this might be about to be a problem. Hey, at least it's area of effect. I mean, Lena goes down, but... oh, well. There we go. That's how you do it. You just use that out of your hand, and it fucking explodes. And it casts basically the rough equivalent of Firaga. And there are 3 elemental rods that we will have access to, and they are... oh my god, you... Shiva, you bitch. Just immediately, as soon as she's able to stand up, targets her. Oh, that's the rudest load of crap that you get out of any of these games. But... yeah, so if I was playing anywhere near decently, which, honestly, I should probably just reload. Get Lena her experience, but I think I don't necessarily need to. We'll take the ice rod, and we gain the Shiva summon. That's fantastic if we were to use a summoner, which for the time being I am not doing. I might at some point, but for now, I'm okay with the current lack of doing so. Boy howdy, I could really use access to the life spell. Then again, I'm pretty sure that most games, they take a little bit to give you access to that, except for the ones where it is comparatively frivolous because you revive after battle. In those games, then by all means, they give you access to life, like, right off the hop. And also, I gotta remember to re-equip Ferris. And in this case, Captain Fancy Hat may just get the Ice Rod straight off, because we want that for an upcoming boss. But on the other hand, equipping the Mithril Knife for more damage is not a bad idea. Yeah, plenty of people, really. Oh, Brian, you have more of a life than I do, that's for sure. And plus, I mean, you live in Canada, and whatever can be said about Canada, you look over at the state of the country that I'm stuck in, and, like, most of my audience is stuck in, and, you know. Yeah, to get credits there. Where's my, Oh, I think I gotta go around the other side. There's an item that we can pick up. If I'm not mistaken. I seem to recall having seen that recently for reasons that I brought up before. Oh, no, I can't do that. Never mind. I'm dumb. I didn't see the full set of that, set of steps for that in that case, so... Oops. Oops. let's not fuck around down here. That place is where there's some real tough stuff. That just leads us down there. Alright, just get me out of here. Let's head back to the main part of the castle and be like, hey, guys, I forgot where I'm going. I got lost again. Jerk. I don't know if there's any reason to, like, do anything for these fellas. Ooh. This wizard just... Alright, well, I returned to Tycoon. I am trying to go where the king, but I'm dumb, so... I'm having a dumbass moment here. In my lack of any sense of direction. Alright, because there's walls. This is the town right over there. Over here is a place where I gotta land at a funny angle. Kerwin. Right, it's not where... I was pretty sure this wasn't the place because we'd been here before. There's the ship. North Mountain is up there, and we can't get out of here, can we? Yeah, this whole ring is enclosed. The map just doesn't really look like it. That's Tool. We've been here already. Okay, yeah, that's just the location. The little star thing there is covering that up. Just a moment here. Oh wait, should we go and check the meteor? I mean, we looked at it earlier and we had nothing to say. I was like, oh yeah, that's a funny rock. Oh, yeah, see, it's got an opening now. Yeah, see, this is my fault, because I looked at this earlier and there was nothing going on here. So I just sort of assumed that... How did you guess that? I guess it just kind of looks like it. Well, everybody else, into the death zone warp hole thing. That's a good question, Galoof. Aside from some weird old coot. Well, hey, we came out the other side. And... what do you gotta say about this? Yeah, we're at the Karnak meteor. There we go. So they're linked. Interesting. I wanted to save, not back out of the menu. Not the memo file. Go here. Warp speed. So I'm guessing that the other meteor in the forest would warp us to the Earth crystal once that meteor falls. Right? We get back attacked by 5 wild dogs. Ooh, that's a lot of guys, but they're not doing horrible damage at least, so there's that. I mean, it's not the most favorable thing ever, but hey. Very nice. You know what? Probably just single target Ferris. Took most of the abuse there. Nice. Blocked it. Excellent. Always good. Yeah, of course Galoof isn't doing shit for damage, but that's okay. He's a white mage, he's not really supposed to. But hey, we gained something out of that fight, that's nice. I gotta make ourselves a nice long path here. Ooh, we got some big nasties here, huh? First of all, we got the land wart. This is a big tort of some kind. And we got Zoo, and we got the Glastos. Oh, that did not do much damage at all. Fair enough, but... Galoof has been affected by old. So now he's even more of a goofy old coot. Incredible. Okay, so I guess Glastos was a turtle, and Landwort will be the weird, nasty gray stroper over there. Meanwhile, the zoo, of course, is the bird with teeth. He was quite the healthy boy there. Kind of stands to reason. That is one big bird. And also just always the zoos are like very high on health. I want to say that those guys are like 1,000 HP in this game. A little less, but our first enemy to be up around that level probably. And there's everybody in the party gaining level, except for Galoof. It's okay, right now Galoof has been affected by old, so in all likelihood, he'd probably lose stats if he gained a level, right? Just like Tella. And that has eaten most of our mana. No surprise there, but at least in theory, there will be an inn in Karnak, right? In Karnak. Blech. Blech. Oh, I just went around the wrong way there, didn't I? Whoops. Came down from up. Unfortunately, I can't just hit a shoulder button and auto-target everybody or something. There might be a possibility that I can use a single button to do that, but I don't know offhand what the input would be. Neat. Yeah, a couple more of these turtles. You guys got anything good for me? You got turtle shells. Those are useful for the alchemist, I believe, to be able to mix certain items in battle for some very powerful effects if you know what they are. Unfortunately, I don't really specifically know what they are. So I will just have to look up at some point. And ooh boy, this town seems to be partially on fire. You telling me there's good deals on stuff here? Oh, well, we will investigate that sooner rather than later. Yeah, they probably should do something about the fire that's just sort of hanging out in the middle of the ground. That seems a little bit of a problem. You know, just taking a guess. Alright, what do you got? Okay, we got our fire rods, our ice rods, our lightning rods. Uh-oh. We're getting arrested for some reason. What, is it because I was talking shit about your fire? One of those monsters. What? Crawl out of the crater? Bleh. What the fuck is going on? Also, they're just making shit up, aren't they? Well. There's somebody in the cell next to us, but looks like our options are a little bit limited here. They're not letting me do much here. I guess I just gotta wait. Oh, that guy blew up the walls. That's, They just leave you in jail with a bomb? Yes, sir, you seem to have done that. Let's all just laugh at this ball. Yes, in fact, I do, but I'll pretend I won't. This is our Sid for the game, huh? Same Sid who built the crystal amplifier? Yeah, I mean... It seemed like a good idea in theory at the time, and yet here we are. They got you for being a pyromaniac around the fire crystal, too, which is very strange. Yeah, we're here for the job shards. But in theory, yes. Alright, meanwhile, the Chancellor lets us out. Or lets him out, at least. Yeah, that crystal ain't doing so well. The fire ship. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. A fire ship. That's a choice. Werewolf. Well, hey, at least Sid is here holding all the power, so that's helpful. Alright, well, let's find out about this fire ship, I guess. Yeah, well, we are allowed to go this way. But there's a couple of places here that are blocked by fire. Which is a bit of a problem. I don't seem to have a way to deal with that right now. So I guess so much for us getting any of these items, but hey. Nobody else in town seems to give a shit, so that's fine. Yes, I see. Got all this problem going on here. Just random fires hanging out around the castle, and nobody seems to be that level of bothered by it. They also don't necessarily seem to be destroying everything just yet, so... That's also very strange. What's this about a werewolf? Oh, well. I mean, that was a werewolf. Being the UK, everyone claiming they don't need air conditioning. A little bit. Little bit. Let's take a look at our gear options again here. Oh, the prices went up. Demand suddenly skyrocketed. You all saw it! Yeah. It's deeply unfortunate. Let's grab a flail for Galoof, I guess. And we can get some mithril swords. We probably have some old gear we can dump too. This isn't like some games in the series where they teach you abilities. It's not like FF Tactics Advance or anything, so... Some of these are just straight up useless now, but... We'll deal with that more in a moment once I take a look at some gear that's available for us. Now we can get some plumed hats for our mages. Mithril armor for our sturdier individuals. A silver plate for our red mage. Say, someone needs a silver armband still. We're allowed to wear... Yeah, you are allowed to wear the leather shoes. Okay. So, mithril helmet, 2 mithril shields. Looks like 2 mithril armors. 2 plumed hats. And then we get to downsizing some older junk here. Yeah, because I can't even afford the 2 mithril armors right now. Eesh. This amount of... These prices are starting to ramp up. With that, and... Yeah, we still need the mithril armor. I'll attend to in a second. First of all, you that plumed hat, and you that other plumed hat. It really fits with the red mage, actually. And we come down here, and now we gotta find some stuff that we can dump. Well, for a start, we don't need these broadswords. Wooden rod, I'm not thinking we're gonna need that many of them, at least. We don't have a ton of other rods, but we do want the spell rods where we're able to get them, which unfortunately we need more money. Ooh. Are these turtle shells worth anything? Only 75. That's not a whole lot. Cures alchemy, it said. Great translation there. Great word ordering. Unfortunately, no use of the whip for us right now. No need for the leather armor, leather shields. Leather caps. Bronze armor. Bronze plates. Bronze shields. Cotton robe. Bronze helmet. No need for these iron shields either. Alright, so again, come in here and grab these mithril armors. And equip them to our 2 heavier classes. I'll hold on to the iron armors for now. But we got one last purchase to make here. At least for now. And it's 2 ice rods. We should be able to come back here later. I don't believe this town gets destroyed. And it's just like Karnak Castle that gets destroyed. But we will be finding out about that later. First, I want to see what else is available here. Oh shit, there's rays. That is tremendous. In fact, there's a lot of good white magic there. I may have to go farm some money, in fact. Yeah, a good chunk of some black magic as well. And you are going to be the specialty magic guy. With a lot of time magic available here, I see. Alright, well, you know what things will look like for next time, I guess. When I will actually fight Liquid Flame and be very upset. But that's to be worried about then, as opposed to now. Use the correct button. So we're gonna save, and my goodness, the game has enough downtime from loading and stuff that it thinks we've only been going for 4 hours. Maybe I should have just grabbed a fan translation or something and played the SNES version. Oh well.